Continuing our conversation here on News Talk with Walter Smith, head of D.C. Appleseed, Doug Sloan, member of the D.C. chapter of the NAACP, first vice president of the organization, and marijuana reform advocate Adam Eidinger. I had to interrupt you before the break. I had to go to break when we did, but pick up, Adam, if you would, with the point you were going to make.
I just wanted to point out that the Democratic Party did something kind of sneaky in negotiating the language, and that is the longer the Republicans delayed in passing a budget, the more likely that the language would go into law after our election. And because it came into effect after our election was certified, which was December 3rd, this language doesn't prevent the initiative from going into effect. It only prevents new laws. So, you know, all this leverage that the Republicans are trying to get on the Democrats to get them to sign on to a budget they don't like, this was negotiated, I believe, earlier in the year, and it just, as time went on, it expired in a way. And so I think people should get ready to grow marijuana in their homes this spring. That's what the initiative says. You can grow up to 6 plants in your home. You can give away up to an ounce to anyone who's over 21. You can keep up to 2 ounces on your person as you walk around town. That is not going to be a crime. You won't be ticketed. And I think the police just need to be informed that this is the law, and that can be done with virtually no cost. And they can stop enforcing these marijuana laws that are wasting, you know, thousands of police hours. We know that there were 4,000 to 5,000 marijuana arrests a year, and that's going to end thanks to this initiative. So I think the media needs to kind of like walk back a little bit from our initiative being overturned, because that's not technically correct. They just took away our right to open up stores, which is something we wanted as well. We're
going to talk about this issue in depth tomorrow, by the way, with D.C. Police Chief Kathy Lanier will be here for the hour. So you can bet we'll discuss this issue in some detail with her. Doug and Walter, do you think this creates a gray area for law enforcement in the nation's capital?
Well, I hope it doesn't. I think what ought to happen is that as soon as the Attorney General's office and the Mayor's office and the council think through what their options are, I hope they come out with a statement saying this is where we are, this is how we're proceeding, this is our view of the current law, so that residents will not be in the dark about how their elected leaders plan to proceed.
Muriel Bowser becomes mayor in 3 weeks' time. What sort of strategy should she have, Doug? Maybe is there a two-track strategy, the short-term, preserve the referendum strategy, the will of the people as it relates to this particular issue strategy, but also relationships and strategizing as it relates to the goals, the more long-term goals that you articulated?
Well, I definitely think that she needs to preserve the will of the people, given that this initiative passed with 70%, and she really needs to take it upon herself and her administration to ensure that they effectively articulate and communicate the intricacies of this new law to the citizens, and obviously, very importantly, to the Metropolitan Police Department, so that we have equitable enforcement citywide, and that everyone is aware of the new law and the new regulations, and we're not having any issues or problems or concerns.
What are the odds that, say, 6 months from now, that you'll be in the room as city leaders gather to strategize on this and other issues?
Well, I don't know what the odds are, but I have picked up for Ward 4 City Council. I am running in that election. I filed with D.C. Board of Election and Ethics and with the Office of Campaign Finance. My website will be up this week, DougSloan4Ward4Council.com, and hopefully I can pull this out, and maybe I can come back as a newly elected councilman sometime in early May.
We want people to announce on the show whenever possible, and certainly the morning after, all winners are encouraged, and there's an open invite for local political winners. Adam, how do you intend to publicize your efforts? What's your hope and expectation in terms of getting regular people to take part in what you're advocating?
Well, I know there's a ton of interest in this already. I mean, our phone at the office is ringing off the hook, 202-733-4640, dcmj.org. We're keeping our campaign account open until we have clarity next year that the initiative has been reviewed by Congress, and the review goes. I fully expect some members of the House of Representatives to try to overturn the initiative when it's sent up for review, which will happen next year. But review is a ministerial act. It's not enacting. We've already enacted it. Now it can be reviewed by Congress. But I think a standalone bill by the House Republicans doesn't have a chance in the Senate, because there even are many Republican senators who don't want to overturn the election, and I just think they'll block it. And even if it makes it to the president's desk, it is a standalone bill, he'll be able to veto it on principle.
Only 5 seconds left, Walter. The odds of success here, prevailing, are what?
I think they're pretty good. I think they're pretty good.
Walter Smith of D.C. Appleseed, Doug Sloan, newly announced candidate for Ward 4 D.C. Council of the NAACP, Adam Meidinger. Thank you all very much. Great conversation. Back with the program.